Ever really stop to think about the stuff around you? I mean, not just the big picture, but the everyday things like the chair you might be sitting on right now
Yeah.
or your dining table. It turns out this furniture we interact with constantly, well, it affects how we feel a lot more than we probably realize.
That's such a good point. We often focus on, diet, exercise, the usual suspects for well-being. But our immediate surroundings, especially the design of the furniture in them, it plays this huge, often unconscious role.
Okay, let's maybe unpack this a bit. Because for this deep dive, we've been looking into some really fascinating ideas about this exact connection, how furniture design and our well-being are linked. We're not talking about like shopping tips here. It's more about this deeper understanding of how our physical environment hits us, mentally and emotionally.
Exactly. Our kind of mission today is to explore how thoughtful furniture design can actually build up a greater sense of well-being and maybe even help us be more resilient, help us bounce back from challenges.
And the framework we're going to use to explore this is called the Salutogenic Model. It sounds a bit technical, maybe?
A little, but the core idea is actually pretty simple. It's called Sense of Coherence, or SOC.
Sense of coherence. Okay.
And basically, it's that underlying feeling of confidence. Confidence that life and its challenges are understandable, manageable, and meaningful. It really shapes how we cope with stress.
Understandable, manageable, and meaningful. Got it. Those are the three key parts, and we're going to get into each of those and see how furniture fits in. Oh, and before we do that, you also mentioned furniture can act as something called a generalized resistance resource.
Oh.
Bit of a mouthful.
It is a bit, yeah. But think of it simply as a resource,
Mhm.
something that helps us manage tension and supports our overall mental resilience.
Okay, cool. So let's start with that first part of SOC, comprehensibility.
Right. Comprehensibility.
What does that actually mean for our environment to feel comprehensible?
Well, it boils down to perceiving things as understandable, as ordered, structured, consistent, predictable even. It's that feeling that your surroundings make sense. They aren't just random or chaotic.
Okay, so how does furniture help with that?
Well, think about intuitive design. Furniture that's immediately clear what it's for, how to use it. It reduces the mental effort, the cognitive load. You walk into a room, you instantly get it. That creates a sense of order in your mind.
Right, like a really well-defined workspace, where your computer goes, where your papers go. It just feels more organized, easier to grasp how to actually work there.
Exactly. The clearer the setup, the less mental energy you spend just figuring out the space.
So your brain's freed up a bit.
And it's not just single pieces either. It's also about the logical arrangement of all the furniture in the room. Clear pathways to walk, distinct zones for different activities. Like this is the reading area, that's the conversation spot. These things help us mentally map the space, understand its function. Good spatial planning, basically.
Yeah, you just sort of instinctively know where to go and what happens where. And you mentioned consistency in design, too.
Yes, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Using similar styles or materials or maybe a color palette across different pieces, it creates this visual predictability,
Mm.
a kind of rhythm. Our brains seem to find that quite comforting. It reduces that feeling of visual noise or randomness.
Hmm. Though I wonder, could too much consistency become boring, monotonous?
That's a fair question, perhaps. But generally, it seems that underlying harmony helps things feel coherent.
Okay. And I like the idea you raised about using like distinctive furniture pieces as landmarks.
They really can act as reference points, can't they?
Mm.
Especially in bigger spaces,
Yeah.
helping us orient ourselves. That unique-looking armchair in the corner or a really striking bookshelf, they become mental anchors.
Little signposts in the room.
And like you said, consistent colors and materials tie it all together, reinforcing that harmony and predictability.
So all these bits, intuitive design, layout, consistency, landmarks, they work together to make our environment feel ordered, make it make sense, which feeds directly into comprehensibility.
Spot on. And this is all part of what we call psychosocially supportive design. The idea that our physical surroundings really do have a measurable effect on our emotional state.
Right. Okay. That makes sense for comprehensibility. Let's move to the second element, manageability.
Manageability, yes.
This one's about believing you have the resources needed to cope,
Right.
to deal with demand.
Exactly. It's that feeling of, I've got this or I can handle this.
So how does furniture play into that feeling capable?
It actually plays a pretty big role. Think about ergonomic furniture first. Adaptable stuff, like height-adjustable desks, chairs with good lumbar support.
Yeah, the ones you can tweak.
Right. It's not just about physical comfort, though that's important. It's about empowerment. giving you control over your immediate environment, your posture. That feeling of control boosts manageability.
Being able to tailor things to your needs, that definitely makes you feel more in control. And what about multifunctional furniture? The clever
Oh
stuff.
yeah, that's huge for manageability. A sofa bed, for instance. Suddenly you have a resource for guests,
Mhm.
or just a different way to use the room. Nesting tables give you flexibility for different tasks.
Right, options.
Exactly. They make you feel like you have more resources available, even if your space is small.
And this seems really crucial. Furniture design with universal design principles, making things accessible.
Absolutely critical. This ensures that sense of manageability isn't just for some people, but for everyone, regardless of physical ability.
Yeah, because seemingly small things, like the height of a counter or how easy a drawer is to open.
Makes a massive difference to someone's independence. They're feeling that they can manage daily life. If you can reach it, you feel more capable. Simple as that.
Totally. And we can't forget storage. Good storage solutions.
Oh, definitely a game changer for manageability. Well-designed storage reduces clutter, makes things easier to find. It's much easier to feel in control when your space isn't visually chaotic, right?
It's like decluttering your mind by decluttering your room. And personalization comes up again here too.
It does. Being able to, say, configure shelves your way or arrange your desk how it works for you, that fosters a sense of agency, that feeling you can shape your environment. That's core to manageability.
Right. Putting your own stamp on it makes you feel more in control, more comfortable, creates that sense of ownership.
And all of this has a direct psychological impact. It influences how you behave and contributes to that overall sense of being able to manage things.
Okay, so we've got comprehensibility things making sense, manageability, feeling capable and in control. That brings us to the third piece, which feels maybe a bit deeper. Meaningfulness.
Meaningfulness, yes. This one is perhaps the most personal element of SOC.
What does it involve?
It's that deep sense that life has emotional significance, that the challenges we face are actually worth engaging with, worth the effort. It's about purpose, value in what we do, and, importantly, here, where we are.
Okay, so how does furniture connect to that? It feels less direct, maybe.
It can be surprisingly powerful. Think about aesthetics first. Visually appealing furniture, a thoughtfully designed space overall. It can genuinely evoke positive emotions, enhance how much we value our surroundings. If you find your home beautiful and comfortable, you're more likely to feel connected to it, even proud of it.
That makes sense. Feeling good about the space you live in, taking ownership. What about in shared spaces, like an office common area or a community center?
Well, furniture arrangements there that actually encourage social interaction are key. Think of comfortable seating grouped together, maybe around a coffee table. It invites connection. It fosters that sense of belonging, of shared purpose. The furniture literally sets the stage for meaningful interactions.
So it's not just sitting there, it's actively enabling those connections.
Yes.
That makes the space meaningful. And personalization again.
Yes. Furniture that lets you display things that matter to you. Photos, art, objects with memories attached, things that reflect your tastes, your values, your history. That deepens the emotional connection. The space becomes a tangible reflection of you, which makes it feel more meaningful.
Like the books on your shelf telling a story about you?
Precisely. And also, furniture using natural materials, biophilic elements we call them. Things like wood grain, natural textures, allowing for natural light. It fosters a connection to nature. And for many people, that connection is deeply meaningful and restorative, bringing some of the outside in.
I like that. Connecting to nature through our furniture. What about furniture for specific activities we love?
Oh, crucial. A comfy, well-lit reading nook, for example. It signals that reading is valued there. It invites you to do it. An art table with supplies ready to go encourages creativity.
Right.
The furniture itself can prompt and support those activities that bring us joy and fulfillment, a sense of meaning.
It all ties back to creating these psychosocially supportive environments, doesn't it? Nurturing our well-being.
It really does. And that leads nicely into applying these salutogenic principles specifically to flexible furniture.
Okay, so moving beyond just preventing discomfort.
Exactly. The focus shifts to actively designing furniture to boost that sense of coherence, to enhance well-being through adaptability.
So salutogenic furniture isn't just functional, it's actively contributing to comprehensibility, manageability, and meaningfulness.
That's the goal. And flexible, transformable furniture is particularly good for this because it can adapt to different needs, different situations.
Because life changes, our needs change. Let's look at some examples. Like for older adults, what features help?
Well, adjustable heights become really important. Tables, desks, kitchen counters, allowing people to continue activities comfortably, safely, that supports manageability and independence. Also, furniture with built-in sturdy support, maybe grab bars integrated subtly, that enhances safety and confidence.
Makes sense. And what about if someone is ill or recovering?
Things like reclining chairs, adjustable beds, yeah, they become invaluable. They enhance comfort, give a sense of control over positioning when mobility is limited. Even simple things like overbed tables help maintain independence and practicality.
Right, supporting manageability during a really vulnerable time, reducing stress.
Exactly. And then just thinking about different life stages generally.
Yeah, families growing, kids moving out, working from home.
Modular furniture really shines. Convertible pieces, too. Think of a crib that turns into a toddler bed, then maybe a desk later,
Yeah.
or a sofa bed for guests, or creating a temporary office space.
Furniture that grows and changes with you.
Right. It adapts to evolving needs, supports different activities, which links back to meaningfulness, too, accommodates your life.
And you mentioned this before, but universal design principles are sort of the foundation for all this.
Absolutely. Making sure these salutogenic benefits are built in and accessible to everyone, whatever their age or ability. That's crucial for it to be truly impactful.
Okay, so we've seen how furniture design connects to sense of coherence. Now let's dig into that other idea you mentioned. Furniture as a generalized resistance resource, a GRR.
Right, the GRRs. So remember, these are all the different kinds of resources we draw on to manage stress and build that strong SOC.
Like a toolkit for coping with life. What kind of resources are we talking about?
Exactly, a toolkit. It includes tangible things like money, a safe place to live, but also intangible ones. Knowledge, intelligence, social support, a positive sense of self, coping strategies.
Okay.
And there's this interesting two-way street, this reciprocal relationship between GRRs and SOC.
Meaning the more resources you have, the stronger your SOC, your coping ability.
Pretty much. And a strong SOC helps you find and use resources more effectively. It's a positive feedback loop.
Got it. So where does furniture fit into this toolkit?
Well, the fascinating idea is that our physical environment, including our furniture, can be a GRR itself. Or it can make it easier for us to access other GRRs. Good design can really bolster these resources.
Okay, you broke this down, linking furniture attributes to different GRR categories. Let's walk through those. First up, material resources.
Right. So think built-in storage, drawers, shelves. They help manage possessions, reduce clutter. That provides a sense of security, control over your stuff. A material resource. Also, choosing durable, maybe sustainable furniture. The long-term value proposition reduces replacement needs. That's also a kind of material resource.
Less clutter, better organization, things that last. Yeah, I can see how that feels like having more resources, less stress about stuff.
Exactly. Then there's knowledge and intelligence as GRRs.
How does furniture help there?
Well, ergonomic desks, adaptable tables, they create comfortable spaces for focused work or learning, directly helping you access information, develop skills. Furniture that integrates tech smoothly, good cable management, charging points, makes digital resources more accessible, more equitably available too.
So good furniture can actually help us learn better, work smarter.
Interesting. What about ego identity, our sense of self? Furniture offers a great canvas for that. Pieces with personalizable options, a huge range of styles to choose from. It allows for self-expression. Choosing furniture that reflects your tastes, your values. It enhances self-esteem, fosters individuality, a sense of belonging in your own space.
Yeah, your furniture becomes part of your identity statement almost.
It really can. Then coping strategies, how we deal with stress.
How does furniture help us cope?
Comfortable seating is key. Having dedicated spots for relaxation, for retreat, essential coping mechanisms. Things like privacy screens, room dividers. They can create temporary zones for quiet, for personal space when you need it, and adaptable layouts let you adjust the environment to suit your coping needs at that moment.
Creating those little sanctuaries, those spots to just unwind or recharge, makes sense.
Absolutely. And then social support, a huge GRR.
How does furniture build social connections?
Think about communal tables in a workplace or home, comfortable seating, arranged invitingly in shared areas. It literally encourages interaction, communication, helps build those support networks. Adaptable group areas can foster collaboration, community. The furniture really sets the stage.
Facilitates connection. Wow, it really is interconnected. Okay, one more. Cultural stability.
Yes, furniture can connect to this by incorporating, say, cultural relevant patterns, motifs, or using traditional materials or design elements. It helps reinforce a sense of belonging, a connection to one's cultural heritage, makes a space feel familiar, resonant.
It's incredible, really, how deeply furniture can be woven into supporting these fundamental resources for our well-being and resilience. Okay, let's shift gears slightly now. Let's talk about furniture and restorative environments. This sounds like it's about how our surroundings can actually help us, like recover mentally, recharge.
Exactly that. The theory here is that daily life depletes our mental resources, especially attention. And certain environments have this amazing ability to help us renew those resources, improve cognitive function, emotional balance. Two key theories we can look at are attention restoration theory, RT, and stress reduction theory, SRT.
Okay, let's start with RT, attention restoration. What's the core idea?
RT mainly focuses on how being in nature, or even just around natural elements, helps restore our directed attention. That's the kind of focus we use for work or concentrating hard, and it gets fatigued. RT identifies four key components that help this restoration: being away, soft fascination, extent, and compatibility.
Okay, four components. Let's take the first one, being away. How can furniture help us feel psychologically away?
Well, you can use furniture to create distinct zones or nooks within a larger space, a little corner that feels separate, like a psychological escape. Also, simply having really comfortable seating that encourages you to relax, detach from tasks,
Yeah.
that creates a feeling of being away even if you haven't left the room.
Like a comfy armchair in a quiet corner, your little escape pod.
Exactly. A mental retreat nearby. Then there's soft fascination.
Soft fascination. What's that?
It refers to things that gently capture your attention without needing effort. Things that are interesting but not demanding. In furniture, you get this through natural materials, wood grain, bamboo patterns, subtle textures and fabrics, calming colors or patterns. They offer gentle visual interest, engaging but not draining.
Sounds very calming, yeah. Not jarring. Okay, what about extent?
Extent is about feeling immersed in the restorative environment, a sense of coherence and connection within it. For furniture design, this means creating flow, making sure pieces relate well to each other, the scale feels right, harmonious arrangements. It should feel like a whole world you can explore, even if it's just a room. Everything fits together naturally.
Creating a cohesive, inviting feel for the whole space.
Got it. And the last one, compatibility.
Compatibility means the environment supports what you want to do, what fits your preferences. It aligns with your needs. It supports activities you find enjoyable, fulfilling. So how does furniture do that?
By being comfortable, firstly. Ergonomic support is key here, and by being customizable, perhaps. And by directly supporting your hobbies, a good table for crafts, comfortable seating for reading or listening to music, furniture you genuinely enjoy using for things you love.
Makes total sense. If you're comfortable and the space works for what you want to do, it's easier to relax and recharge. Okay, that's RT. What about the other one, stress reduction theory? SRT.
SRT is a bit more direct. It suggests that simply being exposed to natural environments, or even just elements of nature, inherently reduces stress and triggers positive emotions. Less about attention, more about immediate stress relief.
Okay, so how do we bring that stress-reducing nature vibe into furniture design?
Well, the most obvious way is using natural materials like wood. It evokes warmth, that connection to nature. Studies show it can lower stress indicators. Also, using cool and neutral color palettes in fabrics and finishes. Think blues, greens, grays, beiges. They tend to promote calm.
Right, calming colors.
And providing really comfortable, ergonomically sound furniture is crucial. Physical discomfort is a major stressor, so reducing that helps a lot.
Makes perfect sense. Physical comfort equals less stress. Anything else for SRT?
Yes, using soft, maybe plush fabrics, tactile comfort, that creates a more soothing sensory experience. And finally, thinking about acoustics. Furniture that incorporates sound-absorbing materials can cut down ambient noise, making a space more peaceful, more restorative.
Wow, so it's about creating this whole sensory environment that whispers, calm down, relax. It really is amazing to think through all these layers, how something we might see as just functional, like furniture, has such a profound impact.
Absolutely. This whole exploration really underscores that furniture design plays this significant, often really underestimated role in our sense of coherence, our overall well-being.
So I guess the big takeaway here is, by being more conscious about comprehensibility, manageability, and meaningfulness when we choose furniture or arrange our spaces, we can actually foster a stronger sense of well-being day to day.
Definitely. And remembering that flexible, adaptable furniture has huge potential. It can support our changing needs, give us more control, more comfort across our lifespan.
And it's not just about making life easier functionally. Our furniture acts as a resource, a GRR. It builds resilience. And it can actively help us restore ourselves mentally through these design principles.
It's all so much more connected than we usually think.
It really is.
And maybe that leaves a thought for you, listening. Take a look around your own environment, the furniture you live with. How does it stack up? Does it help you feel things make sense? Feel in control? Feel purposeful?
Yeah, what small changes, even just rearranging things, could you maybe make to enhance your own well-being right where you are?
Definitely something to ponder. We hope
Mm.
this gives you some food for thought, maybe encourages you to look a little deeper into how the design of your everyday world is influencing how you feel.